Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sincerely and truthfully, I'm so happy to be here with you. It's my pleasure, my privilege, and I might say my enjoyment to be in your presence and have this opportunity to share with you insights, lessons, and inspirations of a lifetime. A lifetime that's traversed over 83 years, going on 84 now. I've been licensed as a clinical psychologist in the state of California since 1974. I went fast. And I've been in practice for over 50 years. So as I like to tell my people, I finally have a pretty good idea what I'm doing. Today's title is very applied to all of you. And keep in mind, when I make my presentations, my intention is truthfully to uplift you and your loved ones, not just for now, but for the rest of your lives. That's what I want to come of this knowledge and energy that I'm sending you. Title of today's presentation is, do you want to be as good as you used to be? Do you want to be as good as you used to be? And I should say, the older you get, you can look back and say, I used to be able to do this, I used to be able to do that, and you can't do it now. I see a lot of wonderful, beautiful postpartum women, lovely people. They feel, I want to look as good as I used to look, when my body looked so beautiful. Now my belly's bigger, flappy. I've got more weight on me from the pregnancy. I want to look as good as I used to be. See many wonderful, wonderful people on medical disability, from stress at work. I wish I could be like I used to be. I didn't used to get panic attacks. I wasn't getting anxiety. I wasn't getting depression. My concentration was better. I wish I could be as good as I used to be. You have athletes, me included. I'm a world champion powerlifter, world champion bodybuilder. When I was 65, my strongest years was 65 to 73. I'm going on 84. I don't have the strength. I'm still muscular, but the physique is not what it was. So I want to use myself as an example as I talk about this. But I'll give you one clue about how we're going to proceed with this. The loss is real. No doubt about it. I was a world champion bodybuilder at 70. I look really good, but I don't look as good as I did then. When I was 65, I set a world record on a bench press, drug-free, raw. It's called raw because I had no wraps, scraps, or anything, or bench press shirt. I bench pressed 365 pounds when I was 65. It was a world record. I was powerful. I can't do that now. Matter of fact, I can't even do bench pressing. I have 2 supraspinatus tears, a bicep injury tear, another bicep injury tear. Plus, once I started eating vegetables and fruit, I shrank. I went down from 212, went down to 146. Now I'm back up to about 162. When I was 70 years old, I set a world record on a power pull-up. Hung 140 pounds from a chain belt, did a pull-up. It was a world record. When I was 67, I set a world record on a T-bar strongman pill of 270 pounds. It was a great lift. I can't even come close to that now. I'm using myself as an example because I want to explain the dynamics. I want to show you I understand. I'm sure for you, it's not a matter of how much weight you can lift, although it might be how you look, but you'll put this into your own context. So, no question, I've had a loss. When it comes to that power, I'm not what I used to be. I don't even aspire to be. I'd like to have that strength, but I don't want to do that work to be as I even used to be. I'm a lot healthier. A whole lot healthier. When I had that weight on me, I'd be the most powerful guy wherever I'd go. Sure, there's people stronger than me around, but not many. Not many. 65 to 70. That's the guy I was. But I was not healthy. When I was training for that, I had a heart attack when I was 61. I had prostate cancer when I was 65. When I set the world record, been cancer-free, thank God, ever since. My blood work was terrible. The way I was eating was terrible. I just wanted to eat to get big. I looked really good. But my coronary arteries were getting blocked or getting plaque building up. And one of my was called the widowmaker, 90% occlusion. I went to a heart attack that almost killed me at 61. My blood work now is beautiful. My cholesterol, my LDL, my apolipoprotein B, my homocysteine, my CRP, my A1C, my vitamin D level, my testosterone level still through the roof. That's because I drink a lot of pomegranate juice, I eat a lot of broccoli, lift heavy weights. I'm doing well. Not perfect by any means, but doing really well compared to how I was. So let's analyze what I've just said. The loss is real. I just want to really emphasize the loss is real. Every time I'm working out, I'm lifting something, I say, geez, I used to warm up with this weight. When I do flies, the max I'll go is 80 pounds for doing the flies. And I would think, gee, I used to warm up with that. I used to warm up with 80 pounds. I would do 200 and just boom, 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 boom. Could do 275 on a fly. So that's when I work out. That's my mind. Not what I used to be. What I used to warm up with, I can't do. It's very hard to get any reps with it. I can do it, but it's not easy now. The loss is real. I'm a lot healthier. Some people even say I look better than when I was that big. Particularly my wife. I was strong. Guys would look at me and say, wow, he's a powerful guy. My wife looked at me and said, he's fat. She likes my looks better. I've had other people tell me I'm more handsome now than then. That was a loss. So whatever loss you have, whatever it used to be, how handsome, how beautiful you were, strong you were, the great things you could do before, you can't do now. The loss is real. I don't want to try to minimize it. It's real. It is for you and it is for me. And the gain is real. A woman, her belly is a lot bigger. There's more weight on her. At this moment, to somebody else, you might look fine, but to you, you don't look as good as you did. I might look at you, or your partner or your husband may look and say, wow, you're gorgeous. I'm not what I was. I know what that does to you, ladies. I know. But you have your baby. My God, you have your baby. You have a family. That's so awesome. And I know you're grateful for that. I know how grateful you are. So you look in the mirror and see yourself a little droopy, things on your love handles, your belly sticking out a bit more. I lost a lot. Cost me a lot to bring this baby into the world. A lot. But I've got my baby. I've got my daughter. I've got my son. It was worth it. Now, the other side of it is, whenever you're going through something, ill health, whatever you're going through, One of the thoughts you can use is it's based on the 4 commands of honor. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I'm going through this, not what I was, but I hope to come back much stronger than ever. Now, for me, I'm not going to have that power again because I don't want to get that big again. It wasn't good for my heart. But I've come back much stronger than ever. I'm a lot healthier than ever. I was so big, walking was hard, sleeping was hard, bending over to tie my shoes was hard when I was that big. I'm serious. I can do those things now. In some sense, I've come back stronger than ever. So there's a loss, which is real. The gain is real. Same for you. The gain is real. The loss is not more real than the gain. The gain is very real. Now, when you follow the way of honor, I mentioned I hope to come back much stronger than ever. If you believe in God, you go, I hope to come back much stronger than ever, God willing. It's a derivative of what I call the warrior's command of honor. The warrior's command of honor is, I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. I'll give you another gain. When I was 65, was found from a digital test. He felt a little bump on my prostate. I went for a biopsy. It turned out I had cancer. Sat down with a urologist. Says, Dr. Nerenberg, you have cancer. It's not a little bit of amount. It's an intermediate amount, and it's somewhat aggressive, a Gleason of 7. My face went numb for about 10 seconds. Then I said to him, Doc, that's great. I said, what? That's great. I said, this prostate cancer is going to help me become stronger physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I never forgot that moment, and I suspect he never forgot that. The gain was enormous because I didn't know how long I'd live. I really didn't. I walked outside. I saw the clouds, the trees, the people going by. Like I'd never seen it before. It was fresh. It was beautiful. I looked at the people with so much love. To me, they were all family. I know they looked at me as a stranger. I just wanted to go up and talk to them. The sense of otherness, the barrier had lifted, the veil lifted. What a gain. What a gain. The loss was imminent. It's like, wow, got cancer. Of course, I was prepared for it by using the commands of honor. I used to call them power source back then. So before I went to find the results of my test, I said, God, if you want this to be cancer, I genuinely want it to be cancer. And I really did. I'm looking forward to hearing, that I was going to turn positive, it was going to be cancer. I really did. It sounds strange, but I did. I said, but God, if you prefer it's not cancer, I prefer it's not cancer. I said, well, of course, Lord, if you have no preference, I prefer it's not cancer. Well, it turns out it was. I should mention when I had that cancer, that's when I took the title, strongest drug-free man in the world for my age and weight. No steroids, like C.T. Fletcher used to call it, Nerenberg style. All my lifts, no wrist wraps, no belt, nothing. Now, I have many wonderful, beautiful people out on medical disability from work. And some people feel guilty or even ashamed about being out. They feel a loss. They miss their job. Some people miss their job. They miss their colleagues. They miss their clients, their patients. At the same time, and that's a loss. And your income's going to go down because disability won't pay as much as your job did, even though it's pretty good. The loss is real. But the gain, many of you didn't have time with your children for years. Didn't even get a chance to see your parents or relatives for years. Some of you were having panic attacks at the thought of going to work. Now you're not having that. So that's the game. And you're having time to really work on yourselves full time. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. That's the game. The loss is real. You can't handle that working right now. You just can't. And here's the game. So you'll always be using, I hope to come back much stronger than ever. As I mentioned, that's a derivative of what I call the warrior's command of honor, which is, I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. So the 4 commands of honor are these. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. Then one of two, depends whether you believe in God or not. If you don't believe in God or don't want to address God, I seek always to serve my highest values. If you believe in God as I do, it's God. Your wish is my only wish. Then you want to commit yourself to doing it 3 times a day for the rest of your life to get the full benefit. Then you want to optimize the opportunity, the probability that you're going to apply it in any situation. So you have what I call the bridge. It's a bridge from reality to the system of honor. And the bridge is, what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? You got 3 times a day for life. And within the way of honor, we're not looking for happiness anymore. We're looking for honor. It's a paradigm shift. And it turns out that honor is the foundation of true happiness. You can have fun, entertainment, excitement without honor, but not true happiness. And that in turn leads to improvement on 26 dimensions that we did a research on wisdom, resilience, love, self-respect, deal with anxiety, deal with depression, dealing with panic attacks. 26 dimensions. People say I got closer to God. Most people say somebody close to me recognized I improved. So whatever your loss is due to your disability, you got to be in the program with Bert and me. And I know how much you've benefited, and you never would have met us if you hadn't gone on disability. You never would have gained this knowledge. Big gain. I know how much it's impacted so many of you. Of course, it's my privilege to offer you that. Well, look at the gain you've had just from being on disability, just learning this system. So many of you said, gee, I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad our paths have crossed. When it happened, if you hadn't gone through that tremendous stress at work where you just couldn't handle it anymore, the loss is real. The gain is real. You can mourn the loss, be grateful for the gain. Whether it's postpartum issues, as an athlete, your looks, disability, whatever has been involved with your loss. Or somebody might be a felon, might have lost their freedom, got locked up for a while. I can give a person some time to really think about their lives and to deepen on many wonderful ideas and meet some good people. Gain to it as well. I mean, it's a big loss. Or we lose a loved one. That's a huge loss. I mean, no one wants to lose a loved one, but eventually it's going to happen, or they're going to lose us. Big loss. But if you believe that we're eternal souls, it's a huge gain. Knowing that that person's going on to something far better than this life. Wow. I'd be happy for them. That's the gain. I'm going to quote one of our people. She said, when you go to sleep, that's when you wake up. That's brilliant. Because when you get to the dreams, that's the spirit world. I mean, with your eyes shut, you're seeing all things, even new things. You go to places you've never been. She said, when you go to sleep, that's when you wake up. I love what she said that. Well, this is an overview. Do you want to be as good as you used to be? Now I'm going to open up to all our beautiful, wonderful people. Please feel free to make any comments, ask any questions. I know that you benefit as much or more from hearing from each other as you do from hearing from me. So I open it up to you. Yes.
Hi, it's Joanne.
Oh, Joanne, good.
Hi, I've known you since I was 18. So
yes, I know.
Now.
Yep.
Our kids went to school together.
Yep.
And I just want you to know how amazing it is to have it come back full circle and to know that, I have you. And I never realized how lucky I am and how blessed I am, and I believe in God like you do. And I say your 4 commandments every day, and God, my wish is
God, your wish is my only wish, right? Exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. And Dr. Nerenberg, you have made me come full circle. I just wanted to thank you.
Well, Joanna, I'm so happy. Just so people know, Joanna used to be on our answering service. I would talk to her every day, getting the messages. She had such a lovely voice, and then when she became a patient, very many years later, I recognized the voice. I said, don't I know you? She says, I used to be on your answering service. Yeah.
my kids went to
I went to school with my kids. It's amazing how things happen in life. And that's my delight to know you more now and to see your progress and to feel so valued by you. That's a lovely. You're so lovely.
Knows what a wonderful human being you are. How much you've helped me. How much you've helped
people. Now tell everybody, I'm not paying you to say these things.
No, you're not.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not at all.
No. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Listen, if I need a PR firm, you would be it, Joanne. Let me tell you.
I would literally pay you, Dr.
Oh God, that's funny. Thank you, Joanne. No, it's really gives more meaning to my life that what I have to say to you impacts you that much. It means a lot for you, Joanne, and for all of you. That what I have to say can impact your life.
Just speak up and tell him, how wonderful he is, because Dr. Nerenberg, every day I get stronger because of you. And I can't thank you more. And I've known you since I was 18.
Well, listen, Joanne, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
You got to be one of the most grateful people I've ever known.
Thank you.
And it's just a light that comes from you. And you got so much love in your heart. I think you're amazing. And you're so expressive. Some people might feel these things, but they wouldn't say it. You're very expressive. There are going to be many, many blessings throughout your life, just from, and I'm sure that you already had, from the kind of light that radiates from you and what you say.
But Dr. Nerenberg, I lost my husband in 2020. You knew him. You knew him very well. And to know that I could come full circle and you're now helping me heal. You're an amazing, amazing doctor.
Well, I'm really
so much.
You're most welcome. I'm really hoping that your dear husband who had departed is doing very, very well on the other side, and I hope he's come to you. I hope he's come to your dreams and told you so. Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you, Dr. Nerenberg.
No, you're most welcome, Joanne.
Thank you for helping me go through this struggle. And
well, as I say, it truly is a privilege for me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me see what other people have to say or ask. But I'm so happy to hear that from you. It means a lot to me, so I don't want to minimize it. It means a lot. It's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say?
Hey, Doc.
Hey, Jacob, is that you? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, let her go. Let her go first.
Oh, okay, let her go first. Okay, who's here?
It's Claudia, Dr. Nerenberg.
Claudia, yes.
So I just wanted to make a comment, more or less. I mean, I wish I can get to that place where everyone's at. And I don't know where their journey is, but I had finally decided to I've had enough with work last week. It was just getting worse than it's been. And I just got to thank Bert because he was there for me on Friday. I had a total major just breakdown. So I can't thank you enough for him and his services and your staff as well. And just for me, this whole weekend, it's been challenging, thinking oh my gosh, I have to apply for SDI and the 7-day period. And it's just been overwhelming. And honestly, today I'm just exhausted.
I think it's a very overwhelming process. Of course, we've done tens of thousands of these. So we really experts on this. Myself, my staff, Bert, we're experts on that. You'll see it all fall into place and just trust the process. The EDD is your friend. They're going to want to make sure you get every penny owed to you, every penny from your state disability. They're not looking to hold on to that money. So, we want to hold that money. We don't want Claudia to have it. No, they want you to have it. Sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes they get behind. Sometimes my people have to go to the EDD office and talk to them to straighten it out. But they'll make sure you got every penny that's due to you. It's an insurance policy that, as an employee that you've paid into over the years, and now you're going to be collecting from your insurance. So just rest assured. Now, you watched that video that we sent you when you signed up for the program?
I did, yes.
Did that help?
Yeah, it does. And today, it was just, I had to listen to a video of you saying, being in the moment right now.
Oh, people love that one. Hey, excuse me, Hugh, that's the one we got to send, Hugh. Okay. Yeah, I'm here now, right now, enjoy the moment. That's got to be one of the most popular ones. Everybody loves that one. We're doing a promotion to promote the honor movement. Yeah.
So my question to you is, how do you enjoy the moment of transitioning into being in the health industry, I guess, if you will, from your last
okay, here's how you enjoy the moment. Let me tell you about enjoying the moment, even when you're stressed. When you're stressed out, you're not going to walk around a happy camper. It's just not how things work. But you can get a glimpse. You get a glimpse. So you just take maybe a 30-second time out of your misery. Here's how it goes. I'm here now, right now. Enjoy the moment. You get 30 seconds. Shine a little bit of light into the darkness. That's realistic. That's something you can do. Deep breath. I'm here now, right now. Enjoy the moment. That'll get you 30 seconds. I'm not going to make false promises. Boy, you follow what I do and everything, boom, right away. You're happy. You're a happy camper. No. But you can get those glimpses. You can get it from now and here. Occasionally some glimpse. It's a nice glimpse. It's a nice glimpse. That's doable. You can do it.
Thank you.
Yeah. The whole thing, I had that whole one video called Shine a Little Light into Your Darkness. And that can be done. Very much so. I'm glad you brought that up because everybody has gone through what you've been going through, those kind of apprehensions, confusions, being overwhelmed. That's very normal. That's why we sent you that video to begin with to help minimize the overwhelming aspect of it. We've done tens of thousands of these, but for many of you, you've done once. So you go, what is this? What is? A lot of it comes down to trusting that we know what we're doing, because everything's a big deal. You get something from EDD, you go, what's happening? What I'm supposed to send this or that? What am I supposed to do? We get texts. I get them all day long. So does Bert. Yeah, but you just go with the process. By the next month, you'll have to see when the money's coming in. Typically, it takes 2 weeks after we submit ours. Sometimes longer, and then you have to go to their office. Thank you for speaking up, Claudia.
Welcome,
Thank
Doctor.
you. Good to hear from you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, doctor, because you helped me. This is Joanne again.
Okay.
You helped me with my EDD,
Well,
and I finally got it. So I appreciate you, and I thank you.
well, you're most welcome. We had one of our people. He didn't get paid in 3 months, and he was just really stressed out, as you can imagine. He had his mortgage, he had car payments, and then we took care of it. My excellent staff took care of it. They got a check for like $8,000. You got to throw all that. It's like a little savings account, but you're not going to get interest on it. It's like a little savings account, and he was really happy with it. But that's how EDD is. They're your friend.
No,
There are not
really,
many
literally.
agencies that are our friends.
Sandra from your office really helped me.
Oh,
And I thank
Sandra
you.
and Amherst, our staff is great. They're professional. They've been doing it a long time, and they're kind, decent people. Thank you for Joanna for mentioning that. Thank you.
No, thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. Who else has anything you want to ask or say?
Hey, Doc.
Jacob. Yes, Jacob.
What's up, my man?
Good.
Always good to hear your voice.
It's always good to see you, Jacob.
I felt an overwhelming amount of guilt going on to disability. I worked construction and then sales like 60 hours a week for the last 2 years of my life. And I felt this overwhelming guilt. Just even at the thought of applying for disability, like I was questioning who I was, my character, my ability to do things. And I remember our first visit. After that, there was a very large release of guilt. There was no more guilt anymore because it made me really take a look at myself in the situation and realize that everybody, we're all human, and we have to sometimes just kind of put our foot on the brake and realize where we are.
Let me comment for a second. I want you to continue, but I want to comment. First, you have to know this. This is not a personal issue for you. It's not. It might seem that way, but it's not. It's a societal issue. Corporate America and the jobs we have at this time in America are not really geared for human beings. It's just really not. Because the intention of most employers, not all, is to squeeze every drop they can out of the people and give them as little back in return as they can get away with. So you're in a system that will grind you down. It's not human. But that's the world we live in. It's wonderful things that we have in this country. Wonderful to have capitalism versus communism or socialism. But capitalism without honor is certainly better than socialism or communism without honor. But you're going to need time out from time to time. And look at the amazing thing that our government has done. They've done a lot of wrong things. We all know that. But they have disability policies under the American Disability Act. Amazing. Well, you can have that time out to heal, recover, get that treatment, get a chance to take a look at where you are, where you've been, and where you want to go. That wasn't always there. Oh, no. Unemployment wasn't always there as it is. We have to be thankful that we have this kind of legislation. In fact, in January 1st, 2025, the payments on state disability went up significantly. Truly a wonderful system. In addition to wearing us out, let's put it this way. I had to work for myself. I could not have survived as most of you could in these jobs you have. I literally couldn't have kept it up. Well, it's like my father said. He said, son, we Nerenbergs have to work for ourselves. It's in our blood. And besides, when we work for other people, they fire us. So,
hey, doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor, it's Joanne again.
Joanne, yes.
I want to let Jacob know that I understand how he feels because I felt the same way. I felt like, because I've worked since I was 18, and I worked for you since I was 18, and it felt bad at first to go on disability.
Well, thank you for that, Joanne. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I want to go back to Jacob. Jacob, thank you for very, very much, Joanne. Yeah, I think practically everybody on this call, Jacob, including Hugh, who's doing our video work now, had a point in his life when he was on disability. And I know he's talked many times how bad and ashamed he felt. Is that correct, Hugh?
Yes.
Yeah, he said yes. Yeah. So that's why I have a number of videos addressing that. And Jacob, I'm glad that you went past that sense. And you're a hard worker. You're a tough guy. You're a hard worker. And you had to say, you know what? I'm tough. I'm strong, but this thing is grinding me down. And
that kind of goes to my point of when I let it go, I was able to create a routine again. I work out again. I'm more attentive to my family. I went through my whole house. I cleaned my house. I cleaned out my storage unit. I'm cleaning out the storage unit in my brain, and there's like a certain disconnect that I reached. I'm like, I wasn't born to make somebody else money. And this time has given me the ability to now open a business and kind of create a game plan on what my life is going to be instead of working on somebody else's clock.
Well, here's the point. You had a big loss. In fact, you went through a loss of self-esteem for a while. And look at the gain now that's come up. The loss was real, but look at the gain you've had.
You got to grow.
Enormous gain.
You got to be uncomfortable to grow.
And look at the gain you've had now. What you've just said was awesome. It's true. And everybody here can relate to it. The loss and the gain.
My wife actually made an appointment now because she's seen my growth through this period. And part of the reason why I've taken this time off is because right after we got married, her father died and I had to go into overtime, and I've had zero time for myself for almost a year. And she's seen the growth I've had, and she's now made an appointment, and she's going to see you on the 31st because I think she's wanted to take some time for herself. So if anybody here is feeling guilty, weird, excuse my French, but fucked up and emotional because of this process, that's kind of like Joanne said and Doc said, it's normal. It's okay. Go through with it and then start to focus on yourself because you're a lot cooler than you think you are and you're a lot more capable than you think you are.
You know, I'm glad you said that. Disability, it's a loss. You don't feel you're as good as you used to be. You can't handle it right now. But there's also the gain that we're talking about. There's a gain of strengthening relationships, seeing loved ones. I had a patient, I remember, he hadn't seen his parents in Mexico in 9 years, hadn't been home for Christmas with them, and he got to go. But here's the thing about disability. My people typically are going through anxiety, depression, panic disorders, concentration and memory impairments. Those are all losses. But that's not the essence of a disability, because you have people with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, relationship problems who are still working. No. The real issue is people reach a point where you say, I can't take it anymore. I can't go on like this. I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And that factor X, or I've had enough, I can't take it, that's really what triggers the disability claim. Then, of course,
you know what, Dr. Nerenberg,
and then with that is typically anxiety, depression, panic attacks.
So
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Because when I was at work, I did everything that I could to be able to make sure that I saved my job, because I lost Jerry in 2020, and I did everything they asked me, and they kept heaving more on me, and I never got a chance to grieve. So I understand Jacob's wife. We need a chance to grieve, and there are.
But I want to ask you something, Joanne. Would you say that? Joanne, I want to ask you a point. Excuse me for interrupting you. Would you say you reached the point where you just wouldn't put up with it anymore? Is that really the reason you're out?
No, really, because I couldn't take it anymore.
Well, no. Let's stop right there, Joanne. Let's stop right there. So the anxiety, you've worked with anxiety before, haven't you?
Oh, God, yes.
You've worked being depressed. Let me interrupt you. You worked being depressed before. Is that right? Yes or no? No, go yes or no.
I was depressed until my husband died.
Yeah. So you worked when you're depressed, you were anxious. So we diagnose you with that. That's a correlate of your disability, certainly part and parcel. But the real thing is, I just can't take it anymore.
Right, exactly. I couldn't take it anymore. And nobody at my job realized how hard it was to work through losing somebody, and they just heaved more on me.
Now, Joanne, was it fair to say that nobody really cared that much?
No, nobody cared.
I know. That's what you have capitalism, which is a beautiful system compared to the others, but without honor, there's got some issues in it. That's exactly right. Because the business model that exists right now, for most businesses, not all, is to squeeze everything they can out of you and give as little back as possible. We don't have that, by the way, at my clinic. We really put the well-being of our workers really at the top.
No, Dr. Nerenberg, I totally agree with you.
But when I was young, it wasn't necessarily that way. When I had my 7 kids and I had to work to pay this and that, really the money can be a little blinding. But thank God I've been beyond that for many years now. Thank you so much for that, Joanna. Thank you so
doctor,
much.
Thank you, because I've been with you. I've known you for over 40 years, and
so long.
You've been with me from the answering service to now.
Well, listen, I'm so happy for the progress you've made, but I understand Factor X, you just can't take it. Anybody else? No, thank you again, Joanna, for your lovely input.
No, it's okay. And Jacob, it's okay. And tell your wife it's okay.
Well, Jacob's gotten there already. Jacob's an extremely intelligent, smart individual.
Yeah, but his wife,
his wife, Jacob's wife has seen the progress in him. She's going through her stress that she can't handle it. He says, wow, she's seeing what's happening with Jacob. And she's saying, I need some of that. Is that right, Jacob?
Exactly.
Jacob, is that right?
We all need a little bit of you, Dr. Nerenberg.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got you. You're welcome. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say?
Hey, doctor?
Yeah, Hugh.
If you had an accident at work and broke your leg and had a cast on your leg, everybody at work would respect that you're on disability, and all of your family would respect that you're on disability. But if you're on psychological disability and you look fine, and to the world it doesn't look like anything's wrong with you.
Yeah. So Hugh's making a point. He's very right. He said if you broke your leg, broken arm, and you're out on disability or workers' comp, everybody would understand. Especially if you're in construction and your leg's broken and you can't really get around to do what you have to do. Everybody will understand, but a psychological disability is more invisible. It's more of an invisible disability, but it's every bit as real, in some sense more real, very, very, very real, very pervasive in a person's life. When you have people who pull up to their job, can't get out of the car because they're having a panic attack, start weeping in the parking lot. And I have people like that. Thank God, American Disability Act, where we can then get you in our program, keep you out for a while, have time to heal, recover, get your treatment, and go back into the workforce. The abuse of power at work is enormous. The abuse of power is enormous. It's always good, like what Jacob's trying to do, of becoming your own boss, having your own business. And I've had some people. I remember this one gentleman in the elevator business. They make a lot of money. They make like $150,000, $200,000 a year, best insurance. But I said to him, you've got the contacts. Your dad's knows the industry. Why don't you go in your own business? A guy like you shouldn't make less than $250,000 a year on your own terms. He went into business. And it was very successful. So some portion of you will go into your own businesses, make a valuable contribution to society, and make really good money. Of course, you don't have a life for about a year when you go in your own business. You have to work, sleep, and eat and breathe that business for then. But in the long run, you'll be happy for it. But there are some people that, for one reason or another, really need to go back into the workforce. And even if you found a job that you liked, supervisor you love, you're lucky if you get 2 or 3 good years before some knucklehead he leaves the job or gets promoted. Or it's a merger and acquisition. You have some knucklehead come over you. He's new. He's got to prove himself by leaning on everybody, starts picking on you. You can't do right. Before you're considered the number one employee. Now whatever you do is wrong. If you get 2 or 3 good years at a job, that's doing really, really well. So that's the nature of what we have right now. But again, all the issues we have in our country, we've got some really good things. The American Disability Act is one of them. And then when you go back to work under the American Disability Act, you can get on intermittent leave for flare-ups, where you can get anywhere from 2 to 8 days a month without pay whenever you need it, after you're back for a certain length of time. We're lucky. This is a survival clause here, a survival loophole in the system. It's not like back in 1910 in the factories where children and women and men just in the factories, slaving, losing limbs, no time off, no protection, bad work conditions. There's some good laws to protect the workers now. Not perfect, but pretty good compared to where we were. So we're making progress. We're making progress. Excellent. Who else wants to make a comment or ask a question?
Hi, doctor. This is Jose Avila.
Jose, good to see you, Jose.
Good to see you, doctor. Thank you for everything today. And I just want to say thank you to Jacob and congratulations for him, because he was talking and I was like hearing myself in the same situation. And the step that he's making, the move that he's making, and to put his own company and not working for anybody else. Because I was working in a company for close to 30 years combined in a car business. I was a GM for Toyota. And the last year, it was a lot of weight on me. And not only on me and another employees from the company that I was working in. And I'm planning to do that. I'm planning to do the same thing. I'm working with you, doctor, and I will get recovery for this anxiety and this worry about what happened, what's going to happen. But I see Jacob saying that about feeling guilty to being a disability. I was feeling the same thing at the beginning, but now I know that I did the right phone call with you guys.
Jose, I'm really glad you shared your struggle, your guilt. 30 years. But I know the car business well. I know there's a turnover. I know if there's a merger and acquisition, they push the GM out. Sometimes they just let him go. Sometimes they stress him out so much till he leaves of his own accord. I know there's a lot of money to be made in the industry, but I know the price you pay for it. I didn't know
till I get sick emotionally.
No, I know the price you pay for it, but I know you're a big earner. A big earner. I know what people make as a GM or handling the finance, handling the financial end of it, of writing up the contracts. I know there's big money. I've known guys making $350,000, $400,000. I've seen guys making that kind of money in it. And I know they didn't have a life. I know that for a fact.
Is the price that you pay?
Oh, you're there day and night. And I know.
They don't care.
No.
They just don't understand when you're not in a position to do your job properly, because there's many things around you, emotional things that you cannot sometimes control. Because they put too much weight on me.
Well, remember what I'm saying. The capitalism without honor leads to this. And it's not really geared for humans. It's not really geared for a good human life. It's not. It's geared for production, for creating many wonderful products, material products. But it's not conducive to family life, family harmony, or health. It's just not. It's more conducive to death. Through the stress, the fast pace, there's a price. But many people want their children to have a better life than they did, and so they're willing to give their lives to do it. And what's really the horrible thing about making all that money, typically there's not the gratitude for the person making it within the family itself. And typically, the kids become spoiled by it. So you sacrifice your life for the kids making all this money. They don't see you're not coming to their sports games, their quesadas, anything that's going on in their lives. You're an absentee parent. And then when time comes where you're 100, 120, God willing, a long life, you die. If they're not honorable, they're going to kill each other over the inheritance. That money is the worst thing for the kids if they're not honorable. And that's common. Yeah. So you kill yourself to make a lot of money, as much as you can, to leave a heritage, a legacy that's going to ruin them unless they're honorable. So the real job of the parents is to make sure the child learns the way of honor. Because without that money is going to spoil them. They're not going to have the gratitude. There'll be a lot of jealousy over the inheritance, and it'll destroy the family unit over the money. I've seen it time and time again. So I'm always saying this as a warning to all of us. Put the energy into making sure you have honorable children, you know the way of honor. Make sure they're turning to high spiritual principles. Otherwise, the money will ruin them. Look what happens to many of the celebrities. They become so rich. I mean, multi-millionaires or billionaires. How many of them are getting divorced over and over again? How many of them turn to drugs? How many of them end up doing very destructive things? A lot. So that honor, that money will destroy you and will destroy your children. Now, nobody told me this. I got to see it. Now I'm telling you. So you know you've got to make sure your children have good character, or the money that you're sacrificing your life for them will destroy your children. Does that make sense to you, Jose?
Yes.
I mean, you had no life. I know your business. I know it really well. You had no life. You were there probably 60 hours a week on your job, at least 60 hours a week. How many children do you have?
Minimum. I have 2 boys.
2 boys. God willing, they're not going to be destroyed by this. We'll see. God willing. But your intention was a noble intention. You want to provide for your children. Typically, people say, I want to give my kids what I never had. I know so many of my people grew up poor. They want their children growing up poor. And then and many of them turn out spoiled and ungrateful. Ungrateful. So what I would say is, you're being on disability. It's a loss, but it's also a tremendous gain. Do you want to be as good as you used to be? Well, you may never be able to be as good as you used to be in one sense, but you'll be even greater in another sense. That's what it is. So mourn the loss and celebrate the gain. I really want to emphasize, celebrate that gain. You can't help lamenting the loss. Make sure you also celebrate the gain. Pay some tribute to that as well. Thank you so much for that, Jose. Anybody else has anything else you want to say or ask? You're most welcome.
So
hi, Dr. Nerenberg.
Yes.
In the corporate world, they use you like a rag. You give everything you have to these jobs, and then they throw you away after you're burned out.
Wow. What's your name?
And they kick you to the curb.
This is Christopher?
And unfortunately, that's how our world is now. So,
what is your name?
I'm Christopher.
Christopher, that's what I thought. Yeah, Christopher. Christopher, that's exactly what I was saying. The corporate America is geared for squeezing everything they can out of you and giving you back as little as possible. I've seen guys work for a company 30 years, and when the company felt they could get somebody for less money, just squeezing them out of the business to get them out and get the younger person and maybe pay half as much. You think there'd be loyalty. There is no loyalty. You might have a loyalty to your company, but it's not going to have that loyalty to you. But at the same time,
hopefully, the first chance they get.
Well, and that's how typically this runs. But at the same time, many of you have been able to survive. You've been able to eat, feed your families, have a nice car, a nice apartment, or a nice house. You have a lot of good things for it. A lot of gain, a gain that you wouldn't have in many other places on earth. But that's the gain of our system. And then the loss is the tremendous stress, the anxiety, the depression, the alienation you have from society, your parents, or your loved ones, your family. That goes with it. The loss and the gain. The loss and the gain. I had an employee, his name was Jimmy. He gave me permission to tell his story. So Jimmy had this job for 30 years. He was the head of security in a major, major firm. One day, the people he was supervising were watching on a screen a picture of one of the celebrities that worked there. She was naked. Her ex-boyfriend sent in that photo, and they were all looking at it. He saw they were watching it. So he just turned around and walked away. Well, management found out that he did that. They called him in, Jimmy. And he loved his job. He said, I love what I did. I was very respected. It wasn't only the money. At Christmas time, everybody would give me gifts. I have a car full of gifts and things, appreciation people would give me. I said, Jimmy, we know that those were on there. You saw the people watching it and you didn't stop it. We have to fire you. After 30 years, he had 6 months till he retired. So he lost his health benefits, his retirement benefits, everything. So Jimmy came to see me. I remember on our first session, I said, Jimmy, it's a huge loss. Huge. But I'm going to tell you something, Jimmy. Within 4 weeks, you're going to come and tell me it was the best thing that ever happened to you. To be honest with you, he laughed at me. He said, I'm going to come to you, say, losing this job, which was my life for 30 years, it was the best thing that could happen to me. I said, yeah, you're going to end up telling that to me, Jimmy. I said, okay. I hope you're right, Doc. Didn't take 4 weeks. 3 weeks later, comes to me and he says, Doc, I can't believe I'm saying this to you. Getting fired was the best thing that could happen to me. I said, see? He said, yeah. So all these years, I had a good marriage. Hardly ever saw my wife. I'd be up 5 in the morning, go to work. My wife would go to her job. Recently, she said to me, I've always loved you. But I want you to know I love you more than ever. Don't think I don't notice that you're vacuuming the house, you're cooking, you're getting the meals ready for me. I love you more than I ever have. He said to me, it was worth it to lose my job just to hear that from my wife. That was the gain, a huge loss. Health insurance, pension, job he loved. I had another patient, big macho guy came in, all tatted up, right up to his face. But I could tell he wanted to cry, but he just looked very stern. He said, Doc, I've lost everything. I lost my wife, she left me. I said, oh, wow, as a man, as a husband, that's huge. So it made it worse. She didn't just leave me, she left me for another man. I said, wow, that is worse. And she took my kids with her, and I don't know where they are. I lost my kids. I haven't seen them in months. Whoa, I said, I have 7 kids. That's a nightmare. Feel compassion for you. He said, I was so stressed, I couldn't even keep reporting to work. I lost my job. That's huge. When I lost my job, I couldn't make my mortgage payments. I lost my house, lost my wife, my kids, my job, my house. I said, it's a huge loss. Huge. Huge. And as a man, I feel compassion for you. But what if I told you the best true story you can tell yourself about that? And that's the key. One of the derivatives of the warrior's command of honor is, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? What if you ask that question, what if I told you the best true story you can tell yourself about this problem? So that nobility, dignity, and honor to your life. He looked at me like, it was hard for me to even absorb that. He said, well, what do you mean? So are you ready for the healing medicine? Yeah, sure I am. It's this. I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. Honestly, he looked at me. His face went from a scowl, which was hiding his tears. And he just goes, yeah, I've gained myself. I've gained myself. He just lit up. He walked out of the office at the end of the session, just lit, went up to my secretary and said, I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. Still didn't have his wife, his kids, his job, or his house. But he gained himself. So you're a loss, you mourn the loss, you're not going to be as good as you were. He didn't have his wife, his kids, his job, or his house, but he had himself. Got to celebrate the gain. It's a lot of loss to mourn. He gained himself. Walked out, floating out, honestly. Amazing. So that's why I tell you this. I have a lot of experience in my own life and seeing thousands of wonderful, amazing people. Well, I've seen the gains in the losses. I've seen it. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. What's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? Those are key to coming out on the other side. It doesn't erase the loss. Well, you're not as good. You don't have it as good as you used to be. But in other ways, you have yourself better. You have a better situation than you used to have. That's reality. The loss is real, but it's only half the story. It's only half the story. The other half is the gain. Don't leave out the gain. Only tell half the story to yourself or other people. Make sure you tell yourself the full story, the loss, the gain. Powerful and true. Because when you're looking for the best true story, you can tell yourself about the problem. It's not like some made-up story to make yourself feel good. The best true story. And it's there. It always is. Always. One of the biggest losses in my life was when my father passed away. I mean, I didn't even care whether I lived or died. I wasn't suicidal, but I didn't care. Huge loss. Huge. Got on the plane. I used to have some fear of flying. I used to fly, but I used to have a phobia about plane rocking around. I used to get very anxious from it. One of my gains was right then. I didn't care if the plane crashed. I said, I'll be with my dad. No worries. I haven't been afraid to fly since. I don't want to crash. I mean, I want to stay alive as long as I can to do good things I need to do. And my father's death made me stronger, made my mother stronger. We had to stand on our own 2 feet. We couldn't rely on him, lean back on him. Made us a lot stronger, my mother and myself. That was the gain. Huge loss, biggest loss in my life. And then, huge gain. I wrote a book about it. In fact, it's on my website, arnoldtherapy.com. The passing of my father. The gain and the loss. I have it in there. That was a big loss and a huge gain. So there you have it. Do you want to be as good as you used to be? I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been my privilege, my pleasure to be here with you, really. And it's been my intention to uplift you and your loved ones for the rest of your lives. Hope you're able to really internalize what I'm telling you. When I was younger, I didn't know these things. Nobody told me. I'm passing it on to you.
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity, from strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.